students, so today I'd like to show you how we're going to create a data source document on MS Access. So you will remember previously we created a data source on MS Word, and we actually can create one on Excel and Access. So the one we created on Word looked like this, where we had 4 columns and 4 rows, and we typed up the information accordingly. And that's how we created MS Word, a data source on MS Word. And on Excel, it's exactly the same way. We've got the same information and we're creating them in a spreadsheet, okay? And then we just need to make sure that we have our borders. So you will see here are the lines. So we've created all borders. As you can see here, I clicked on all border. I highlighted the section and created all borders, and there I have my borders. Okay, so that's in Excel. So today I want to show you how we're going to create it in Access. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click where it says type here to search. Okay, and then we're going to search for Access. So as soon as I click on Access, where it says Access 2016. I'll click on it and there it opens up. So like Word and Excel, this screen comes up and it looks familiar, I'm sure, where it says blank desktop database. So the first thing you'll do is you'll click on that one. As soon as you click on it, you'll notice a box comes up. So it's a bit different to Excel and Word in this instance. Why? Because it actually asks you to save your document. So what we're going to do is you'll notice it says blank desktop database, it says file name, and then it says database 3. But in this example, I'm going to use our example in our textbook that we've been using, and we're going to save it as invitation. Okay. So I'm going to type in invitation. And you'll also notice that it automatically saves it under that drive. So it's under your C drive. And all you have to do now is you're going to click on create. So as soon as you click on create, you'll also notice it says invitation database C drive, and it shows you where it's saved. Okay. So once you've saved it, it's automatically saved. Now you'll notice that this screen looks quite different to Word and Excel. It obviously has those tabs, File tab, Home tab, with its ribbon, Create, External, but you'll see there are quite a few differences. But we'll go through them and we'll navigate through Access, MS Access as we go along. So the first thing that you must always remember when you see the screen coming up, always make sure that the first thing that you need to find is your view. Okay, so in MS Access, there are 2 steps. The first step is actually to create your field names, okay, with a structure. Okay, so you actually have to first create the structure before you actually can type in the names. So that's a significant difference that we have for Access. So we're going to do that first. And in order to do that, you need to go to View, like I say. And when you click on View, you'll notice there are 2 tabs that come up. The first is Data Sheet View, and that's where you're actually going to type up your information. But we'll get to that. But the most important thing and the first step is to go to design the view. And like I say, we have to design those field names. Okay, so I'm going to click on design view. As soon as I click on design view, another box comes up. And they basically want us to save the table. Okay, so you'll notice here's a table. So basically, as soon as I save the table as a specific name, you'll notice that this will disappear as well. So we're going to type in our table name, and today I'd like for us to call it, we can call it database. and we'll call it database invitation. And we're going to click the OK button. And as soon as we did that, you'll notice it says database invitation as your table name, and another screen comes up. So what happens is when you see this screen, this will always pop up, okay? And you'll also notice that you'll find that there is a little key here. It's called a primary key, okay? So you'd ask, what is a primary key? And you'll always find that the key is always attached to an ID, okay? An auto number. So the primary key is basically like a unique number. Much like your ID is your unique number, because no one has the same ID as you have, okay? But you'll find in our purposes, we will always switch off that key. So that's the next step. You will need to remove the key. How do we remove the key? You'll notice on the ribbon over here, on the design ribbon, you'll notice it's in gray. There's a key and it says primary key. I want you to merely click on it. And once you click on it, the gray disappears. And you also notice the key disappears. Okay. So now what we need to do is create the field names. So the field names will be typed over here. And then each field name has a specific data type assigned to it. So as we go along, you'll notice what I mean. But so we are obviously going to use that exercise as the exercise that we use as an example. Okay, so what do we have? We have name, surname, group, and gender. And you'll notice they're all in words. There are no numbers here or ID numbers or anything like that. So we're going to replicate or we're going to create field names in our Access document. So this is what we do. I'm just going to realign the screen. Okay, so the first field name that we have is name. So you'll notice here it says ID. I'm going to remove ID and I'm going to type in name. And you'll notice I need to type it in capital letters, okay? It's important. So we're going to put our caps lock on and we're going to type in name. So once I've typed in my field name, I'm going to automatically go to data type, okay? It says here auto number, and when a little box comes up, please do read what it's asking you to do. So it says here the name is supplied as a reserved word. Okay, so I know that this is a reserved word. Auto number is reserved for ID, reserved for words that have a specific meaning to Microsoft Access or to the Microsoft Access database engine. If you use a reserved word, you may receive an error when referring to this field. So what you'll do is you'll always find this box will come up because we've now removed ID. Okay, so we're going to click on OK over here. As soon as we click on OK, it will always ask us for a corresponding data type for every field name. So you'll notice that there's a little drop down arrow. You're going to click on that. And for today's purposes, you're going to use short text. However, there are various other data types that we will discuss as we go along through other exercises. But for today's session, you'll notice that these are all words. So we're going to use the data type short text for all our field names. So we'll click on short text. As soon as we click on short text, you'll also notice you need to go to field properties. So when you see field properties, you always look at field size, format, and you look at the size and the number. So it says your field size is 255. So what does this mean? All it means is, are my field names, or at least the characters that I have under name, it will accommodate for 255 characters. So what do I mean by that? So if I'm looking under name over here, can you see it says Chad, Sindiswa, Bilkis? So the amount of characters that I have for this, under name, the highest number of characters I think is 6 characters. If we count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. Okay. So if we're looking at 255, we are perfectly fine for those number of characters, because the largest number of characters under name is 8. So for today's exercise, we're going to leave it as 255. However, you'll find in the other exercises that we'll do, they will request you to change it. Okay. So what have we done? We've typed in name, we've selected short text, and a box has come up for field properties, which we are going to change, but we're not changing, which we would normally change, but we're not changing today. Okay, so the next field name, what's the next field name? The next field name is surname. So we're going to type in surname, and you'll also notice that it is in capital letters. It's important to note that you type it in capital letters, because you will, marks will be deducted for that. And it also needs to align to what the question paper says. Okay, so the next one is data type, and like I said, for this example, we'll leave it as short text, and we'll also leave it at 255, because we have enough characters to accommodate for this field. Okay, understand. So I'm going to do the very same thing for group. I'm going to type in group. I'm going to select my data type as short text, and I'm going to leave it at 255. And the last one is gender. So you always notice, guys, that there are 3 things that you have to do. It's field name, data type, and field properties. So it's 1, 2, 3. So we've got gender. We've selected short text. It's automatically created the first one, because the first one is short text. And 255. Once we've created our field names or our structure, we're now going to type up the information that we see over here. So that's the difference in Access, is that you have to create your structure, your field names, your base first, your table first, before you type the information in your table. Okay, so how do we go and type up information? Because we are ready to do that. We'll go basically to view, and we will select datasheet view. When we select datasheet view, another little box comes up, and it says here, and it's important to read these boxes, hey? So you must first save the table. So we first need to save the table. Do you want to save the table now? You say yes, so we want to save it, and it automatically comes up over here. And now we feel free to type up our information, and just make sure about your case, whether it should be uppercase or lowercase. Okay. And you'll notice male is in capitals, so I'm going to type male. Now I go to the next one, and it says Sindiswa. And also please make sure that there should be a space. So please be in mind your letter space and letter spacing. Okay, and female needs to be in capital letters. And female. And there we have completed our data source. So